Hello, I'm Judith Henry and welcome back to my design studio. This is the last video on my 2021 Valentine's bundle. And I'm hoping that you'll remember this Christmas Model T that I made several years ago. And it's a slice form and it falls flat with an ornament. And it makes it nice so that you can store it away for next Christmas. So my Model T trucks is sort of built off of this one, except it's not a slice form. It's actually a model, a 3D model. And I thought, what better project can we have to give our male friends these cute little trucks? So the red one is sort of reminiscent of this one. And the yellow one is a traditional color for this Model T. It's a 1928 Model T truck. It does have some slice form in it. In the back of the truck, it's hard to see because I've got it in black. It's a slice form like this, except it doesn't go all the way through because you can't see through it. But it makes it very handy when you want to add candy in the back, or some other kind of present, because you can pop it in those holes in the slice form, and it just creates a beautiful little candy bouquet. Or if your loved ones are into candy hearts, it also holds those in the back of the truck. So let's get started making this one. Hope you will enjoy it, and we'll see you later. Bye.
I've already started putting together one side of the wheel assembly. It takes all the layers on the left to make one side. This is the truck bed that the wheel assembly is attached to. Notice that this one is a white sidewall. There are 4 pieces to be glued together. I'm using a zig pen since these are smaller pieces and can be assembled quickly. Notice that it comes out as blue glue, and as you put layers on top of it, it becomes a more permanent bond. If it dries, it will become a removable piece. We are creating wheels that have yellow spokes on them. The other pieces that come with the kit are for white wheel tires. So we need to have 2 on each side. They will just go over the next pieces. Make sure that you match up the spokes. The Model T has a running board that goes from one wheel to the next. So these pieces are created, there's 2 of them, glued on top of each other just like the other pieces that we've put together. They make a ledge on the base so that we can add a running board. Sometimes you need to have multiple pieces, and if you feel like you need to have a more sturdy edge, cut more pieces and glue them together. And now we add to this the wheels, matching up the spokes. The base of the truck will have these fenders that come up around the wheels, so they need to be folded up, and that is where you're going to attach the wheel assembly that we just finished and create a tiny little ledge on these fenders. This is the one I did for the white sidewalls, and now we're going to put our yellow spoke ones on. So they fit a little bit down on the piece. As you can see, I'm just putting the glue on the fenders and then just a little bit of glue across the middle of each tire, and it fits so that the tire is partially glued onto the piece also. But there is probably 1/8 of an inch above these pieces that is on the base piece. So put that on one side, and then we'll flip it over and put the other piece on the other side. You can kind of see why we needed to have this thicker. It's got a lot of pressure on it with all the truck sitting on top of it. I'm still using my zig pen. It makes it easier to assemble because you can kind of reposition it, where the other glue you kind of get to move it around. Okay, so now we've got our base set, and we're going to put the fenders over the tops. And when you lay it flat, you can see where the fender will glue onto the pieces that we built up with all the different layers. You need to make a score right at the back end so that it'll go down square and then run over to the other side. I'm using liquid glue on this. It gives it a stronger bond. So there's the corner right there. Let's get it in there tight. Wrap it around the wheel. Take it slowly that you can get the glue to glue on. You can always add more glue. This glue turns white, or turns clear. It goes on white, but it turns clear. And I don't have enough glue here. And you're going to do the same thing on the other side. Now the fenders are cut wide. They're also cut longer, so you can trim them up to whatever you think looks best on your truck. The fenders are long and they're kind of curved at the ends, so just follow that kind of pattern. Okay, and there's your fender. To go ahead and do it on the other side, you can pause your video.
The structure of the truck has two pieces that are glued together to form one long extension. It's the whole length of the truck. It also creates the seats in the truck. It holds the engine piece. It also holds the truck bed slice form where the candy is put in. So all we need to do is to glue these two pieces together. I'm using glue. It creates a better permanent bond between these two. Get enough glue on it so that it holds together nicely. It's important to get all the little pieces lined up correctly. The assembly pieces will fit through those slots. And the front end kind of twists and eventually folds up to form the truck. Now we get to start doing part of the model part. And we're going to start with the engine cover. It's multiple pieces, but I'm just going to show you how to put the cover part together, and then we'll talk about the structure that holds it up underneath. If you've done my tea light, you know that going around curves, I use little triangles. And so we need to push those all the way up along with these smaller tabs. And you can see that will bend nicely, and we have this form, and I bent these back. It looks like this flat. Bent these back. That's the front end part of the little truck. You can imagine it down there. So the idea is you can glue in between these upright pieces. And this one actually has a fold here also, so don't forget to do that. But these pieces are glued onto the base part, and the rest of it wraps around and glues onto this base part. And you will find that the little triangles go right around that bend. So let's get this glued together so we can go on to another step. There's no folds on this, so your glue might be easier to put on this piece. And I like my applicator because I can put glue on and then smooth it down, so I'm getting a full coverage. And we will just start on this end, and it goes in between these two uprights. And if it's a little bit too long, this side looks like it's a little bit too long, just trim it off so it fits in there. You want it to go in between the two tabs. So you can see it's a little bit long, it's going into that tab. I fold that back and then I'm going to trim it off. And then I'm going to do the same thing with this side. The same thing here. Need to trim it up a little bit. And you've got that done. Let's go back and do our little tabs. This is the yellow piece that is fan folded to attach to the base structure. Goes back and forth. It has little tabs in between the spaces so that you can glue the little casing on over it. The end piece is glued onto the black piece base that we glued together. That holds the piece in place. Make sure that it's set down all the way to the edge. Adjust it as necessary. And then put glue on those side pieces on both sides. That will cause the assembly to stick together and stay permanently. Now notice there's the little flap at the front. You can fold it over. It's possible that you don't really need it. I can't remember if I tore it off eventually. But there, you have it all together. So the cargo base is a slice form, and you folded those pieces just like you did the yellow pieces for the front. And we wind them back and forth between the base. They stick out towards the edges. It's a slice form because the pieces fit together. This is the area where you can put your candy, or like I did with the little candy sticks, or you might want to use this like a flower truck, or if you use it for Christmas, you could put a tree in it. So this, we now are going to put the truck cab onto the base. It folds together just like a little box would. There are four folds on this. One is a tab for you to glue together. There's the tab. Okay, let's put a little glue on it and make the box. This piece fits down in the assembly right behind the engine. It covers up the area where there's the seats. It has these tabs at the tops to hold the bonnet of the truck. They need to be folded down. They'll be glued later in the video. But the little cab has kind of a bonnet that tips over the edge. So these little folds are what hold that bonnet down. So let's put this over the cab section. It slides down because it's a slice form onto the black piece that we created. That's your structure piece. Might be just a little difficult here. There we go. Get everything flat on the base. Here's the truck roof I was talking to you about. It glues on the main portion on the back of the cab. It covers up some of the yellow. Has the window that goes through it, and then it wraps over the top, and we will glue it down onto it. I'm using just regular glue, pH balanced adhesive. Match up the the window fold. Then we can fold this over and glue the sides down on both sides. That'll hold it in there in place while you put the lid of the bonnet over the top of that base. So there I'm gluing the little side tabs, and you kind of mold it to go down over that other yellow one. To make sure that this doesn't come apart, we need to put some glue in between the engine and the cab. So I'm just, I just love this little applicator I have. We're getting close to the end now. This is the back part of the truck, over the bed of the truck. I fold down the edge, top edge. It makes it a nicer finish to this piece. You can also use it to add decals on it, like a running stripe. There would have been some, maybe a white stripe, or this piece can also be used to, if you wanted to put a sign on what the truck is, call it a Valentine's delivery truck, or for Christmas you could have a tree farm sign on the side. You could do all sorts of things to decorate this up. Maybe make it into a float. Just like the yellow pieces, the black pieces have little glue spots on the sides. So when you glue it down, those slice forms don't move. They will stay in place. Make sure that everything lines up and is flat. So let's go put the last assembly piece on. Remember the base that we created with the two running blocks? This is what puts it all together. The glue on the base makes the slice forms stay in place, gives it a base so that if you put candy in the back of the cargo bay, you have a way of putting them in and not having to glue them in. You can use that cargo bay. I take some flowers from some of my pop-up cards to put back in there to make it a flower truck. Okay, so now we need to put on some of the decals. Well, let's put on the fence first. We need to put the fence on. And we need to make sure this base stays in place. Probably need to trim the running blocks a little. Make sure that the side pieces on the base are glued to the yellow piece. Have to do our checklist here to make sure we get everything in the right spot. Notice I'm putting glue on by the wheels to make sure that they stay snug against the truck. Okay, now we're ready to add this grill, which is the top piece, and the bumper, which is the bottom piece. It just glues over that end, covers up all those little tabs that we glued down. Here's the fence. It's a four-sided fence, but there's the end pieces, excuse me, glue together and makes it sturdy towards the back. And then you just put glue on the little end pieces in the corners and slide it into the bed of the truck. Add a little glue at the side pieces so it lays flat. And there it is. Your truck is put together. Let's put the grill on. Oh, we did put the grill on. And I did have some decals in there for Ford. You could put any kind of decals you want to on this little truck. And here comes the candy. Notice how easy it is to just pop it in that slice form, and as you put it in there, it assembles into a pretty little bouquet. Hello, here I am at the end of the day in my creative room working on my video. There's my cameo and all my supplies are behind. Hope you've enjoyed putting together this project. It's a little more difficult and complex as I realize as I put the video together. Please ask questions. If you have any problems, contact me through the support page on Crafts You Print. And have a good crafting day. Thank you for watching my video.